Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! It is just after daylight, and I believe this is the earliest I've ever recorded a Zombies or Descendants video for you guys, but last year I remembered a commitment I made to my audience, and that commitment was simply this, that there would be a Descendants or Zombies video uploaded at least once per day on this YouTube channel, and that is a commitment that I have honored and that I have followed through with. I want to say thank you to everybody, with this being the earliest I've ever uploaded a Descendants or Zombies video for you guys. Thank you so much for always hitting my subscribe button, hitting my like button, and welcome back to my channel. If you are a first-time viewer of these videos and you have yet to subscribe, I think you should, because you are really going to love it here. Over the past couple of days, people have been asking me, do I think they will keep the name Zombies attached to the Zombies franchise, be it that Zed is no longer the lead in the Zombies franchise. Both Zed and Addison are saying goodbye to the Zombies franchise after having a profound impact on both the franchise and all of our hearts. The more that I think about it, you guys are pretty much accurate with your assumption. Why call it Zombies if the lead is no longer a zombie? If Mila Manheim and Meg Donnelly are saying goodbye, saying their farewell kiss, saying their farewell words in the script. It was a very emotional goodbye, the final scene between them, seen at the top of that hill in New Zealand. I think this was a very powerful way to pass the torch, and it was probably the most powerful way that a torch had ever been passed to a new cast for a Disney franchise, because Disney usually gives up after 4 seasons for a TV series and 3 movies. But we have seen the expansion with Descendants and Zombies, not just Zombies, but also Descendants, with a new franchise premiering with, of course, Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker having the leads as Chloe Charming and Red. Beautiful portrayals, by the way. I think, the more that I think about it, you guys are right. Why have a movie called Zombies when leads are no longer portrayed as Zombies characters? This opens up the door for vampires to take the lead. This opens up the door for potentially aliens or some other supernatural creature to take the lead, even mermaids. But I think out of any supernatural creature to take the lead right now, the most obvious would be vampires. Having everything to do with vampires because of the popularity of a saga such as Twilight years ago. Do you guys remember the popularity of Twilight and the 5 books that Twilight had released over a number of years ago? It was truly unbelievable, the popularity of Twilight. And I think this has everything to do with the credited popularity of Zombies, ensuring the future of Zombies is one of the most powerful franchises that Disney has ever produced. I was 25 years old when Twilight first came out in 2008. And that wasn't yesterday. And I remember how popular Twilight was. The books were selling by the millions. People were watching the movies with hundreds of thousands of hours being watched. And it ultimately became the most watched and most revered vampire movie in the history of vampire movies. And that dates all the way back to Nosferatu, which I do remember. I remember both the silent movie, which was the very first vampire silent movie ever produced, and then rebooted years later. I went to see it with my friend from Ukraine, and we were in the line at the movie saying Bloodsucker repetitively because it was in the back of our mind just how powerful of a movie this was, and it really was a moment. I think everybody has had a moment with a vampire movie. No matter if you're talking about Twilight, no matter if you're talking about a TV series like Vampire Diaries, you've fallen in love with it, and this is the reason why the success of a franchise like Zombies has been secured. Maybe not perhaps for the success of the franchise being carried by just zombies, but all the supernatural creatures that we have yet to see in the Zombies franchise and we have seen over the years. Zombies can be credited for the success of it, but so too can be werewolves, can be aliens, can be vampires, and yes, of course, there is a report that there is an alien mothership on the way to Earth to kill us all in just under 113 days. I woke up this morning and that was the first thing on my mind. My friend from New York has been profiling this and been covering it for a while, and every morning he reminds me of how close the alien mothership is to Earth. And I just want to put it out there that if there is an alien mothership on the way to Earth to kill us all, then I am going to protect each and every one of you with these videos, to protect you and your loved ones from an alien invasion, the potentiality of a zombie or vampire invasion, which could be quite possible, because one can never be too sure if their boyfriend is a zombie or a vampire. And then you got to call 555 Jonathan Clarke kick his ass, and nobody ever wants to call 555 Jonathan Clarke kick his ass, because if you got to call 555 Jonathan Clarke kick his ass, then you know for certain, most definitely, Jonathan Clarke is going to kick his ass. You know, for years, I thought that my friends, my girlfriend, the people I lived across the street from were vampires, so you can never be too sure. And I really did love Zombies. You know, from the very first moment I saw the Zombies franchise, I thought it had something special to offer us as fans of Disney. I've been a fan of Disney all of my life. And I can never remember a time when Disney went all out with a vampire movie or a TV show. Nickelodeon tried it years ago with Are You Afraid of the Dark and Mona the vampire, and Disney's tried it with movies such as Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, which goes all the way back to the year 2000. But again, the more that I think about it, the success of zombies can be credited to the success and overwhelming popularity of Twilight. I don't think there was a girl out there who was never obsessed with Twilight, and never a reason why I wanted to kick Edward Cullen's ass, which I'm still putting out there, that if Edward Cullen wants to go one-on-one, I will gladly do it for each and every one of you, or people who are afraid of vampires, because there are people out there that are actually afraid of that kind of stuff. And everybody needs a hero in their life. And after how I saw Robert Pattinson treat the character Batman in the Batman movie back in 2021, 2022, oh, my heart was broken because I was the biggest Batman fan ever. But I think zombies still has a long way to go. I really don't like how people are on their podcasts always criticizing zombies for the titles, for the characters. There are so many more chapters left to be written for this, because you have supernatural creatures such as goblins, trolls, gargoyles, witches, sirens, pirates, and so many other characters that we've probably perhaps forgotten about that could be inside of that vortex. So a 3-year window release for zombies, which is suggesting now anywhere between now and the end of 2027, will give us time to offer up our predictions, to think more about what is inside of that vortex logically. Because there are some stuff inside of that vortex that just doesn't seem so logical, like unicorns. That's actually a prediction that I've actually made, that unicorns could be inside of the vortex, if not mermaids. The thing about mermaids are always perceived as innocent creatures. And the thing about mermaids are, you don't know what a mermaid is going to do from one moment to the next. And there are going to be more than one mermaid in this movie. Apparently, the plot is suggesting that the mermaids will settle in Seabrook to battle sirens, which are powerful witches that overtake the seas. And in order for them to overcome the power of the siren, what they will have to do is they will have to unite every single supernatural creature that we have seen in the Zombies franchise that are planning to threaten Seabrook's existence. So it's going to take the power and assistance of every supernatural creature, which makes this movie perhaps the biggest in the Zombies franchise. Whether or not they'll keep the title Zombies attached to it remains to be seen, but I think that with how, the more I think about it, how Nova and Victor are vampires, what would be the point of even calling it Zombies? You think they would call it Dawn of the Vampires 2 even? And the more I think about it, Dawn of the Vampires 2 would be a very powerful title. I think that would garner a lot of attention on D23.com and at the Disney Expo every year if they would have changed it. Because then, you know, fans of vampires would come in and join the fans of the Zombies franchise originally. And then, of course, the Zombies fans would feel as if they, you know, gained some kind of seniority with the Zombies franchise. That would be really cool because you've been watching Zombies for forever. Because believe it or not, there are people out there who have been watching Zombies ever since they were 11 years old. I know they're like 25 years old, and they're still just as excited about Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, and Zombies 5 than they were about the original Zombies back in 2018. 2018 was a really rough year for me. I was just coming off the death of my dad, so I needed something special in my life, and Zombies offered that to me. It offered me something to review. Because I was a radio show host for forever. My parents had both passed away. After years of battling with cancer, my mom died. My dad died with suicide. So it was a really emotional time of my life, and my career wasn't really going in the direction that I wanted it to go in. But Zombies and Descendants gave me a second chance at life and gave me a second chance at a career. We witnessed the rebirth of my career in the popularity of Descendants and Zombies, and it was because of each and every one of you. And because I was such a huge fan of supernatural shows like Supernatural and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and True Blood and Vampire Diaries, which I watched all 7 seasons of the Vampire Diaries. It was a beautiful, actually 8 seasons of the Vampire Diaries. If I say I was a fan of a vampire TV series, here's the thing. I watched every episode of the Vampire Diaries so I can tell you about Damon Salvatore, so I can tell you about Stefan Salvatore, so I can tell you about how Bonnie was a witch, how Elena eventually fell in love with Damon Salvatore after years of me wanting to have to kick his ass. I was a big fan of this kind of stuff, so it really irritated me when I heard people on their podcasts telling you guys that we're seeing the end of Zombies. You know, by the time Zombies 5 happens, it'll be called this, or it'll be called that. Here's the thing. Nobody out there knows what's going to happen with zombies. We're just speculating on what we think is going to happen and what may be inside of that vortex. And it could be anything inside of that vortex. That's what makes this so fun. That's what makes this so unpredictable. And that's what makes this so different from Descendants, because Descendants' plot was so obvious. I mean, from one moment to the next, you knew what was going to happen in the Descendants plot. You know, Mal and Ben were going to fall in love. That dates all the way back to the very first Descendants. You knew Red and Chloe were going to patch up their differences and find their way back to present-day Wonderland after dealing with the consequences of time travel and really altering time. And one can expect to see what we can expect with these Descendants 5 movie too, because it's going to focus in present-day Wonderland having to deal with the consequences of time travel, which one of them will be Red having a sister now, which will present a lot of controversy in the plot. By the way, I'm looking forward to being introduced to Liamani Segura's character, Pink, for the very first time. I think having two sisters with a color scheme name makes this very unpredictable, because this is the first time ever that we've seen Red have a sister in the movie, and possibly a love interest by the time we see her fall in love with this character, Ace, based off of what I read in the All of the Lost book. So I'm really excited about that, and I think that us referring to Liamani Segura as a mini Bridget is kind of offering way too much criticism. Let's give her a chance. And let's give the Zombies franchise a chance. Whether or not it's going to be called Zombies, whether or not it'll be called Dawn of the Vampires 2, I really don't know. But it doesn't make any sense to be calling it Zombies when vampires now become the focal point and are going to be taking center stage in this, and have seemingly overtaken Seabrook and the New Zealand on-shoot location. So I think that a lot of unanswered questions are going to remain unanswered up until the point that we see Zombies 5 released. We'll call it Zombies 5 for at least now, because that's what fans are calling it, and because fans have been so loyal to the Zombies franchise. And you guys really have been loyal to the Zombies franchise. So I think right now calling it a different title would be showing it the ultimate act of disrespect, if anything. And I think because of how popular Zombies has been in all of our hearts for forever, how many people showed up at the meet and greets, how many people showed up at the D23 Expo just to see your favorite stars and get to meet them for who they really were. I think it would really be an ultimate act of disrespect right now, changing the title. Let's change the title when Disney announces it and makes it official. But right now, if I had to choose an alternate title and an alternate route for the Zombies franchise to go, it would be in the direction of vampires, because I've been a big fan of vampire TV shows, and I've kicked the ass of a lot of vampires. I've been a vampire slayer for forever. And you haven't lived until you think your girlfriend, or you're under the suspicion that your girlfriend is a vampire and she's dating a vampire lord behind your back, and you have to jump into action. But let's not call it Zombies. Let's not call it Dawn of the Vampire Stooges yet, and see where we go from here. I think that Malachi Burton and Freya Skye have fabulous futures with the Zombies franchise. I really do. I think that there are no cuter girls and guys in the Disney franchise right now than Malachi Burton and Freya Skye. This is an adorable couple, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't win an award by the time the year ends, by year end, for how cute and adorable they are. I think they are just as cute and adorable as Zed and Addison's characters were at that age. You know, how old is Freya Skye? 15 years old. She'll be 16 in October. So I think they still have a long way to go and a lot to learn. So I think closing the door on Zed and Addison's characters even making cameos in this movie, it's too early to do it. I think it's just jumping to a conclusion, and I really don't want to see that happen. You know, I would be really sad if Zed and Addison never did show up again. They are saying that they're going to remain behind the camera and offer creative direction and a creative sense for Zombies 5. I'm really looking forward to that, because they are legends. No matter how you want to look at it, they are legends. And they have garnered so much respect from so many people for being able to create such a fabulous franchise. And the thing about Meg Donnelly is, her character Addison is never given enough credit. I mean, she's fearless, she's strong, she's powerful, she's everything all in the one. And I think Disney realizes that. So if she wants to be the producer of her own franchise that means so much to her, Disney is going to make her happy and do everything within their power to make sure she's happy. And I give her a profound amount of credit, because, I mean, nobody would be as open and honest with her battle with struggle and anxiety and her mom's battle with cancer as much as what she is. And she's juggling all these different jobs and all these different personalities. I mean, she's working with Fox on The Masked Singer. She's working on all these TV shows like American Housewife. It's unbelievable how far Meg Donnelly has come in such a short amount of time. I mean, her family had no interest whatsoever ever in the entertainment industry, or no backstory with the entertainment industry. And she really brought it to life in a way that nobody has been able to do. And outside of being an actress, she's also being a producer now. So if she wants to take that route, go that route with her career, more power to her. And her EP, Dying Light, is doing fabulous. It's doing way better than a lot of people have been reviewing it. A lot of critics have been choosing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I was one of those guys that loved the music in Zombies. I don't know about you guys, but I loved the music in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. And I really do believe the music got better in Zombies Swore Down on the Vampires. It's way different from the other music that we've heard in any of the Zombies franchise. The music in Zombies 1 through 3, very different, but a lot of the songs sounded similar. Songs like This Is Gonna Be My Year, Somewhere I Belong, and Someday, beautiful songs, but these songs in Zombies 4 Down to the Vampires really did present a camp rock Hannah Montana High School Musical kind of vibe, and really set zombies off, really set zombies in a more powerful direction than it has ever been headed in before, and because of that, I'm really excited about the future. There's just something about that first sip of tea every morning of my life. Oh my God. You guys haven't lived until you come in through your window 5 a.m. every morning after killing a bunch of vampires, after you're under the suspicion your girlfriend may be a vampire. I've done it for almost 30 years, which is why I'm putting a call out there to the Zombies franchise that if they are looking for a vampire slayer, they need to look no further than yours truly. I will jump out of a helicopter or an airplane backwards with no stunt double, without even thinking about it, just to save Addison's life, which is even more of a reason for Addison to return from Chair College and reprise her role in the Zombies franchise, because I don't know how you can do it without her. I'm going to be honest with each and every one of you. I hope these rumors are not true about how Zed and Addison won't be reprising the roles, even if not in the form of a cameo, because, I mean, they meant so much to the franchises, and these stars, you can tell that the Zombies franchise meant so much to them. That's the thing about the Zombies franchise to Meg Donnelly. Meg Donnelly knows that she got in the position she's in. She got to where she is because of the Zombies franchise. This was a role she wanted more than any other opportunity she had ever been given. She had been acting ever since the age of 7 years old in commercials, every little small-time role that she could get and have the opportunity to portray. And Zombies was really a breakout role for her. It was really a make-or-break situation for Meg Donnelly. It was either go big or go home, as the old cliche saying goes. And she received her fair share of criticism. Zombies was referred to, I mean, I've heard it all. Zombies was referred to as a copycat of Descendants and nothing more. People didn't think Zombies had a future. The critics were all over it. And most recently this year, people were all over the Zombies franchise for the music, for the plot, centering around Daywalkers and Nightwalkers and their confliction. My heart goes out to everybody who was a part of this production, because you guys didn't deserve the criticism that you got, and I wanted to do something about it. So how I did something about it was I created a radio program and a YouTube show about Descendants of Zombies, and it exploded. And thankfully enough, it did explode, because the reason why you're watching this video is because you're just a huge fan of Descendants of Zombies. And that's why I want you to watch this video, because you're such a huge fan of Descendants of Zombies. And I want you to know that I am forever and always in your corner. I am forever and always going to be supportive of Descendants of Zombies, because I know the criticism it's received has been very harsh. I mean, the music video for Place to Be had been released 5 minutes, and people were already posting reaction videos on YouTube. I know because I saw it. I was there. And in my opinion, they really had no business criticizing a music video they knew nothing about. The purpose of the music video was to introduce us to this whole new concept of Daywalkers and Nightwalkers and their confliction. It was never to have people criticize Descendants of Zombies the way that it was. And within 24 hours of its premiere, the Place to Be music video and later on the Don't Mess With Us music video exploded in popularity, but it was still receiving so much criticism. It got hundreds of millions of views, but was receiving a lot of criticism. People were jumping to conclusions. People were saying we were seeing the end of Zombies, and Zombies 4 Down on the Vampires was expected to be an ultimate disaster. I mean, they said the same thing about Twilight years ago, because there was so much detail in the books left out of the franchise from installment to installment, but every movie for Twilight got better as the years went on. And we're seeing the same kind of thing with the Zombies franchise. Every chapter, every installment, every movie is getting better. So why are so many people criticizing it? I've come to the conclusion they're doing it because they have nothing else better to do. And I've kind of wanted to alleviate the pressure off the shoulders of Freya Sky and Malachi Burton, who I believe have fabulous futures with the Zombies franchise and the Disney company. And Disney knows that, and Disney realizes their potential. And that's why Disney is really putting it out there. And we still have a long way to go with these two franchises. So should we be criticizing it? No. I think that with the time we've been allocated in between the releases of each Zombies movie, I think what we should do is be giving it time. Giving it time to introduce itself to a whole new group of Disney fans, a whole new generation, if you would, and see where we go from here. Because I feel as if a lot of people on their podcasts at only 8:56 a.m. in the morning love criticizing stuff. They have no business criticizing. So I just don't want to be one of those shows that show up on YouTube at 8:56 a.m. in the morning, not even awake, talking about Descendants of Zombies in a way it was never meant to be talked about. If anything, I want to show up here on YouTube talking about Descendants and Zombies in the way it was meant to be talked about. And that's a great review with a positive vibe. And if I can't do that, then I feel like I've let myself down, and more importantly, I've let all of you down. Do I think a very bright future is ahead for the Zombies franchise? Sure I do. And there's no doubt in my mind that Zombies does have a very bright future ahead for it. I'm really excited to see where we go from here. I'm really excited to read the reviews. I'm probably going to be really upset over some of the reviews that I do read about Zombies 5 by the time we get to it. And I'm probably going to be even more upset about the reviews of Descendants 5, Wickham Wonderland. Because so many people will find the negative in Descendants and Zombies. And it is truly terrible how people find the negative in everything without talking about the good stuff about it. And I want to put it out there too, that if people do find good things to say about Descendants and Zombies, you guys deserve a profound amount of credit. Because without you, we wouldn't be able to see the light with Descendants and Zombies. You guys really put the light back into talking about Descendants and Zombies and give it purpose. It is something that I give you a profound amount of credit for, because at least 95% of the people who are uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies shy away from talking about the good of it. And the thing is, it's such a powerful franchise because it's inspired so many people to become stronger. It's inspired so many people to look at life in a very different perspective and have a very different outlook on life. Because when I felt lost, Descendants and Zombies brought me back to reality. And it was really the rebirth of my career. It was really a second chance for me to really talk about something that I knew meant so much to so many people. And I never ever wanted to let you guys down with reviews of Descendants and Zombies. Now I know I come on here every morning and I sound like somebody suffering from an alien invasion or a vampire apocalypse or a zombie threatening our existence. But the thing is, I do it because I love each and every one of you so much. And the thing is about being a YouTube creator is, you know, the greatest fear is really just fading off into obscurity with nobody watching your videos. Nobody really loving you for who you truly are. And really talking about Descendants and Zombies for what it was meant to be talked about. Oh my God. I really am suffering from a vampire infection or a zombie transition. Oh my God. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for subscribing to this YouTube channel. And I want you to know, that one way, some way or somehow, we will see Zombies 5. I don't know what the title is going to be at this point. I don't even know what's inside of that vortex. But I would love to see mermaids. I would love to see vampires. I would love to see werewolves. There are so many ways this one can go. And I'm really excited to see where we go from here. Just as I'm sure millions of people are. Now, I know I've been reading the comments, too, from the parents saying that, they don't really want Zombies to come out 3 years from now because their kids will be teenagers watching it. But that's cool, too. If your kids are teenagers watching it, that means that it'll bring back a lot of fond memories. And those memories will be triggered from what they will see in Zombies 5. That's something that is going to be really incredible. And it's going to be an experience that each and every one of you are going to remember for the rest of your life. And I just want to be here with you to talk about Descendants and Zombies in the way that it was meant to be talked about. It is truly unbelievable how Zombies and Descendants has had a profound impact on all of our lives, and it's touched all of our hearts in so many unbelievable ways. I'll go for a release window of 2027. I would love to see it released earlier just as much as each and every one of you would, but you got to think about it like this. If, in fact, Zombies 5 is released within a year from its original release of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, let's say if Zombies 5 was released in 2026, which is just a year away from now, the plot wouldn't be as great, the story wouldn't be as great, the stuff that would happen that you would least expect that would happen wouldn't be as significant, there wouldn't be many significant moments, the torch have been passed in a very powerful way like it was intended to be passed. Malachi Burton and Freya Sky would be getting very ridiculous reviews and really far out their reviews. So I think that releasing it within a 2 to 3 year window is a great move for Disney to do, and it will give us time to talk about it, and will give us time to be even more excited than what we are now. And I just really want to be a part of something so special. I've always wanted to be a part of this with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to have fallen in love with this niche. Thank you for giving me the honor of being the voice of Descendants and Zombies, because it truly means so much to my life and to my heart to have been made the voice of Descendants and Zombies, because I honestly don't know where I would be without each and every one of you. From my heart to yours, I just simply want to say thank you so much for just being there for me and allowing me to be there for you to help you make sense of these two franchises and the direction that they are headed in. I will be back later on this afternoon with another great video for you guys having everything to do and say about Descendants and Zombies, and I hope you will join me for it, as I want to encourage each and every one of you that kindness really does go a long way in this world, and you never know how far kindness goes until you reach out and touch somebody's heart with it, because there are so many people out there who do need kindness in their life, and you could be the one to offer it to them. So this is the perfect opportunity for us to go out and spread some kindness into this world where there is never enough kindness seen. And dare I say, the words I love you are never said enough. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to have been the voice of Descendants and Zombies. It has been so much fun. We will talk again later on this afternoon. Until then, be kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world.